Hey Grey's fam, brace yourselves, because Season 2 didn't come to play. This season wasn't just drama, it was devastation. Bombs, comas, silent bleeds, unethical surgeries. These weren't just sad, they ripped us apart. Today, we're counting down the 9 most tragic deaths in Season 2. The ones that made you ugly cry, scream at your screen, and never look at a heart monitor the same way again. Let's dive in. And if Grey's still leaves rent-free in your heart, smash that like button like Christina smashing a heart valve in the OR. Robert Martin. You probably don't hear his name as much, but Robert Martin's death showed us something new about Alex Karev. He came in with a head injury, but a sodium imbalance went unnoticed. Alex ordered a saline treatment, too much of it, and the result? A seizure, a coma, no return.
You should go home, Alex. There's nothing you can do here.
Nobody should die alone.
It was an early glimpse into Alex's humanity, his guilt, and the harsh lessons young doctors learn the hard way. Yvonne. This one hurt because it came out of nowhere. Yvonne wasn't even a patient, just there with her injured friend after a train crash. She seemed fine, chatting on the phone, and then, suddenly unconscious.
Go.
Thank you. Yvonne, that's your phone. Yvonne. Yvonne. Yvonne!
Code Blue, I need some help over here.
Yvonne!
Turns out she was bleeding internally the whole time. Help was feet away, and yet it came too late.
For hours.
There's no blood. She's not bleeding.
She was bleeding internally.
She didn't say anything. She wasn't even a patient.
Grace Bickham. Grace Bickham was ready to go. She had COPD and signed a DNR. But a nurse's strike meant Meredith didn't know and intubated her. That moment triggered a rush of regret and reflection.
How's she doing?
You intubated her?
Yeah,
You intubated her.
I had to. She was struggling to breathe. Her sats were in the 80s. She was in a room all alone. What?
One of the temp nurses found the paperwork from her chart on the 2nd floor. And
You put a tube in Grace.
She put a tube in Grace?
She put a tube in Grace.
Mrs. Bickham was diagnosed with end-stage COPD. She's on hospice.
End of life care?
DNR. Do not resuscitate.
You little schnook. You were supposed to let her die.
Grace eventually passed with her friends by her side, but it shook Meredith and us. It reminded her of her mother's decline and reminded us that even good intentions can cause pain. Holden McKe. Imagine waking up after 16 years only to die the same day. Holden was a firefighter hit by falling debris. After 16 years in a non-responsive state, he suddenly woke up. His wife had moved on, his son was a teenager, and then he was gone. Derek tried to operate. It wasn't enough. His death wasn't just medical, it was existential. Emily Russell, a quintuplet, a premature heart. Emily Russell's life ended before it truly began. Addison fought hard, so did Izzy. But Emily's heart was too underdeveloped. And when Addison delivered the news, Izzy broke down, so did we.
It wasn't your fault.
You put me in charge. I fell asleep. I killed that baby.
No, you didn't. She was gonna die anyway. She had a restricted atrial septum and virtually no aorta. As soon as Dr. Burke opened up her chest, we knew she didn't have a chance.
Hey, if you're still here, hit that like button and drop a comment. Which Grey's death wrecked you the most? We're in this emotional spiral together, fam. Jeremiah Tate. Miranda Bailey is tough, but Jeremiah Tate, he made her soft. Born with cystic fibrosis, he had known Bailey since she was an intern.
Dr. Meredith Grey, Jeremiah Tate. Thinks he knows so much because he was one of my first patients as an intern.
Knew as much as she did.
She was clueless about how to treat cystic fibrosis.
A simple cholecystectomy turned into a month-long stay.
Better not be alleged malpractice. Guy raises about $100,000 a year for cystic fibrosis, running triathlons.
When he came back for surgery, he didn't make it off the table. Watching Bailey desperately try to save him was heartbreaking. This wasn't just a case, it was personal. Bonnie Kranoff. If you've seen the train crash episode, you remember Bonnie, impaled on a pole alongside another man. Only one could survive once the pole was removed.
In order to operate on Mr. Maynard, we have to separate you two. In order to do that, we have to move you backwards off the pole.
Can't just pull the pole out of both of us?
Well, if we did that, we would both start bleeding very quickly. Too quickly.
So, if you move me, I'll die?
We're gonna do everything we can.
It wasn't her. Meredith tried. We cried. Her death wasn't just tragic. It changed Meredith. It made her feel what being a doctor really meant. Dylan Young, he saved everyone, except himself. Dylan Young, the bomb squad leader, helped Meredith through one of the show's most intense moments. A bomb in a man's chest, Meredith's hand holding it. He helped her out, then turned, and boom. That blast shook the hospital and us. Denny Duquette. We all saw it coming, but it still crushed us. Denny Duquette. Charming, sweet, in love with Izzy. He got the transplant. Izzy broke all the rules to make it happen, and then he died, just like that.
Nothing can bring me peace. I've lost everything.
His death defined Izzy. It haunted her, and it became a turning point for the entire series. Season 2 proved that miracles and heartbreak walk the same hallways at Grey Sloan. These deaths weren't just stories. They shaped the doctors we followed for 20 seasons. So tell us which one hit you the hardest? Comment below. Subscribe for more Grey's deep dives. And thanks for scrubbing in with us.